The Jets game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is over. What did we learn from this preseason game? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be talking about and recapping the New York Jets preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to score again, but after that Travis Dye fumble, I thought, screw it, I'm recording this video. It's 13-16 right now. My expectation is that they're just going to get in victory formation and walk off with the win, but we've got a lot of really interesting things to talk about in today's game. The first thing that we're going to talk about is we're just going to go like we always do. Offense, defense. We'll start with special teams because special teams actually looked pretty good today in terms of the offensive side of special teams, like receiving the ball and certain things like that. Xavier Gipson with a really nice 31-yard punt return, which was just phenomenal. It's really interesting, the battle for wide receiver 5/6 and whether or not Xavier Gipson's skill set in special teams is going to affect the decision that's being made there. But again, Greg Zuerlein, pretty automatic, 2 for 3 on field goals today. He missed one, unfortunately. But no extra points because we never scored a touchdown. Thomas Morstead, really good, 46-yard punt averaged on the punt. The one thing that I will say in terms of the special teams that was a little bit interesting and probably wasn't the best scenario for the New York Jets is that you could tell that Bam Knight was really trying to put good things out on tape, and the pressure got to him, so he made some bad decisions on specials and different things like that. But we'll get to Bam when we get talking about the running backs. Let's start talking about the quarterbacks because Tim Boyle looked absolutely atrocious. 13 of 24 for 104 yards and an interception. Just absolutely abysmal. For all of the people that thought Tim Boyle was going to be quarterback too, you guys are out of your mind if you think that that was real. Zach Wilson, a pretty good day. 9 of 13, 70 yards, 80. I think it was like a 70% completion percentage. Pretty good day out of Zach. Remember the thing with Zach and the play calling, because I know a lot of people were complaining, oh, why aren't they letting Zach air it out and do things? Guys, it's preseason. We don't need Zach to air it out. The problem with Zach has always been doing the easy things consistently. We know that Zach Wilson can do the hard thing. We know that Zach Wilson can hit the deep ball. We saw that with his rush where, he bounces outside and rushes for, I think it was 35 yards or something along those lines, 31 yards or something. Like, we always knew that he was athletic. It's about getting the easy completions done. And you know who is a master of getting the easy completions to earn the right to throw over the top? Aaron Rodgers. 35% of Aaron Rodgers' throws last year came at or behind the line of scrimmage. Let that sink in. Almost over a third of every pass that came out of Aaron Rodgers' hand was a check down, was just giving what the defense gave him, and he was able to dice, and this is like for his whole career, right? He averages right around this number of hitting the guys in the flats, and this is what we need Zach Wilson to improve. This is an Aaron Rodgers offense that Zach Wilson is just manning the helm for right now. The play calling and the design is for Aaron Rodgers, and unfortunately, the offense never earned the right to take that deep shot to do those things. You play what the defense gives you, you hit the guys underneath, you get your chunk yardage when you can. And again, for that job that he did, I think he did a pretty good job. It's not a great performance or anything like that, but it's just about managing the game, keeping the Jets in it. One thing that I will say is that these stupid penalty-killing drives are continuing to happen. We see this in practice. We're seeing this in these preseason games. A drive gets going, and then you're in the red zone, or you're on the opposing team's 30-yard line, and then boom, holding call, boom, offensive pass interference, boom. Something happens, and now it's 1st and 20, it's 2nd and 20, and the drive is just dead. Because you're so far behind. Trying to catch up on something like that is absolutely insane. We need to get better and more disciplined in terms of the things that we're doing in the opposing team's yard, like end zone, and it just not end zone, but their half of the field. I'm getting flustered because I'm so frustrated about it. And it just sucks to continue to see these stupid mistakes from the offensive line, from the tight ends with the holding calls and the penalties, just killing drives. There's no other word to say about it. They're killing drives. Now let's go into the rushing. Nothing really good out of the rushing attack today. Zonovan Knight was fighting, obviously, for a job. 4.1 yards per carry on 8 carries for 33 yards. Pretty decent there. You can tell that he was trying to fight for a roster job. Israel Abanikanda had himself a great day before going down with his injury. 4 carries for 30 yards at 7.5 yards per carry, showing off his speed. The good thing is that his injury is a thigh injury. We'll know more about what the injury actually entails tomorrow, but it not being a knee is a very, very good thing. And the fact that it was a contact injury is also a good thing. The non-contact injuries are the stuff that tend to be ligaments and ACLs and PCLs and MCLs and all of those things. Contact injuries tend to be more bruises and sprains, and you can come back from those things much, much faster. So that's really good news from Israel Abanikanda. Everything else in the run game absolutely was atrocious today. And then we can talk about the wide receivers. Jason Brownlee had a really good day today. Finally showing up all that hype that we saw in training camp. 4 receptions for 50 yards on 6 targets. That's a great day. And then everybody else kind of not having themselves a really good day. Xavier Gibson got targeted 3 times for 2 receptions and 18 yards. That's not a bad day for him. Zach Kuntz with 3 catches on 3 targets for 18 yards. Alan Lazard had the opportunity to have a relatively good day. Zach threw one behind him, and then like a couple plays later threaded the needle to hit Alan Lazard. And you know that in games where Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, that obviously he can hit those throws consistently. So it's good to see that. McCole Hardman with a couple of receptions. Again, trying to utilize his speed on the outside in some sort of like screen games. And again, we're going to see a lot of that from Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers. They love using the flats and getting balls behind the line of scrimmage to let the players build up speed and to take it and gain extra yardage. And that was really it from that. Now let's talk about the offensive line, because we got some really, really interesting offensive line situations. The first team offensive line didn't look all that horrible. I'm going to have to watch it back to see what happened with the first team offensive line and all of the things there. But I really didn't notice in all that much of a bad way any of the guys on the offensive line, which isn't a bad thing. Again, we're still missing 80% of our offensive line. Dwayne Brown's not in, Elijah Tucker's not in, Laken Tomlinson's not in. We're playing Joe Tittman a little bit out of position at left guard where he should be playing center. You know, Max Mitchell is out of position playing left tackle where he should really be playing right tackle. Billy Turner's playing at right tackle, and he looked relatively good. But the story of the offensive line is going to have to be in this game is going to have to be the story of Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton played right tackle and absolutely dominated. This coaching staff said you have to earn the right to rep with the first team, show that you can go, and that's exactly what he's been doing. He played 27 snaps against Carolina, practiced all week without ever pulling himself out, played 25 snaps in this game before the coaching staff pulled him out. He wanted to keep going and absolutely dominated on that right side of the offensive line. Mekhi Becton should be the right tackle of this football team week 1, and there is not even, it shouldn't be close. He is by far and away the best option at right tackle that we have for this football team, and I would even argue with Dwayne Brown not playing, he's probably the best option at left tackle for this football team, but we know that this team isn't going to move Dwayne Brown to the right side, so that is a little bit of a fallacy to think about that something like that is going to happen, but he absolutely showed up and showed out and did excellent things on the right side of the offensive line. He should be getting reps with the ones this week, and I think, honestly, if he's given a fair shot, he should get reps with the ones during the Giants game, and I think that he should be the starter for the Bills game because I think he dominated today. He was just out there making pancakes. He opened a bread and breakfast on the right side of the offensive line and just was demolishing guys, making them look like children, and you love to see that. Now let's talk about the defensive side of the ball, and the first player that I want to talk about on the defensive side of the ball is Brandon Echols, because Brandon Echols continues to impress me with his level of play as a corner on specials and just the value that he provides. I think Brandon Echols has an opportunity to really be a good player for the New York Jets, not just as a backup, but as an eventual starter for another team, or maybe taking the reins for DJ Reed when DJ Reed has to go somewhere else because he outvalues himself for the New York Jets or whatever it is. But none of that is ever going to happen if he continues to play stupidly like he does sometimes. It's almost constantly that Brandon Echols is getting hit with a stupid penalty, losing yardage for the New York Jets. This kid has so much potential to be a really good player, and I love Brandon Echols, that he's the backup corner for my football team. I feel comfortable when he's out there. I don't feel like panicked in the same way that I would if Bryce Hall were the one to step up if DJ or Sauce goes down. But he's got to fix these stupid penalties, man, because they're just dumb. There's no other way to say it. Another really good day from the defensive line. Al Woods and Quentin Jefferson continue to show that they might be some of the most underrated signings this year in terms of, like, for the interior of the defensive line. Tanzel Smart also blowing up a play. Like, it went... Al Woods blows up, it was Quentin Jefferson blows up a play and forces a Tampa Bay Buccaneer player to tackle his own player. Then Al Woods blows up a play, causing an incompletion. And then I think like 2 plays later, Tanzel Smart blows up a play. It's absolutely phenomenal, the depth that we have on the defensive line. And it's a story that we're going to keep on talking about, because Tanzel Smart being as good as he was and being able to create the pressure and just disruption on the interior of the offensive line and let it sink in, he might not make this roster. There's a good to fair chance he's not going to be on this team. I don't see the Jets carrying 5 interior defensive linemen, so that leaves Tanzel Smart as the man out, which is just absolutely insane. Another great day from our linebackers, personally, I thought, from the backup, the backup 3 in terms of Zaire Barnes, Jamie Sherwood, and I think today it was Nick Vigil that was out there with those 3 guys, which was just a really good look for the New York Jets in terms of, just efficiency. But I think the story of this preseason game, specifically on defense, is going to have to be about the secondary. Trey Dean, 10 total tackles, 9 of them being solo, 2 of them being tackles for loss. Jimmy Moreland, 7 total tackles, 6 of them solo, 2 tackles for loss. Ashton Davis with 7 total tackles, 5 of them solo, 3 of them tackle for losses. The DBs came out to play and showed up and showed out in a big way. And you can see this competition for the bottom half of the roster has become very, very serious, because you're not seeing things like these numbers from guys like Bryce Hall. You're not the competition with Trey Dean and Ashton Davis has gotten much, much more serious, because Trey Dean continues to be Mr. Consistent and provides you the ability to play at that safety linebacker hybrid that Ashton Davis can't play with his size. And Trey Dean was built in a lab to erase tight ends. And we saved $3 million if we cut Ashton Davis. Again, the competition and the decisions that the New York Jets are going to have to make in 1 week's time when it comes to cutting down to 53 players is not one that I envy at all. We have so many good players on this football team, and we cannot stash all of them. And it sucks, because I want to keep all of them. Can we change the rules and make them hold 60 guys? Because I don't want to lose guys like Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gibson and Malik Taylor and, Trey Dean and Jimmy Moreland and all of these different guys, Tanzel Smart. These guys are doing really good things, and they deserve to be on an NFL roster, and I don't want to see them in not Gotham Green. But again, I think that the reality is that the New York Jets are going to be another team that's back-to-back years where we're going to have the most players claimed off of waivers. Everybody wants to come to the New York Jets, and there's only 53 spots. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the preseason game. I know a loss is sucks, and we could have won, but Tim Boyle was horrible, and the second and third team offenses just couldn't get anything going, like, effectively, and the penalties and all that stuff. But what did you learn? What did you see that I didn't see? Let me know in the comment section below. It's going to be interesting to be able to watch back the All-22 and really digest what some of these players did. So let me know all of that stuff in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.